With the Fortune of Fog release, the Knight and Vittorio Toscano are released to the game. They bring 3 individual perks, each of them, and today we're going to look at the strongest builds for all of their perks. We're going to cover 5 builds, we're going to cover 1 killer build in the end, so don't absolutely sure to stick around till the end because this build is so much fun. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet, and with that being said, let's start it. And the first bit of this video is called Let Me Give You a Hand. It consists of a Quick Gambit, Sprint Burst, Vigil, and Windows of Opportunity. Quick Gambit on merit is a decent perk, but nothing that we'll receive very often, I reckon. The perk will grant an 8% repair boost to gens while being chased within a 24-meter radius to their gen. This on paper already seems a bit too situational in order to supply any good and decent value, but with Sprint Burst added to the mix, it could low-key help you significantly in finishing that 80% gen you and your mate have just worked on. With Quick Gambit, you are mostly done who will stand up earlier when a killer is coming near. You will lure him towards you and then pull your Sprint Burst and run to a safe area using Windows of Opportunity. In that area, you then want to extend the chase while the gen is being repaired. As you're somewhat forced to do this quite often after repairing the gen, your mate should absolutely come and support you in taking hits or even taking it down after if the game really demands that. Vigil on the other side is only present in this build to make sure that you always recovered from exhaustion. If you are a good survivor who knows how to deal with Sprint Burst exhaustion properly, you could also run Self-Aware instead. And now we come to one of my favorite builds in the entirety of Dead by Daylight, and it's called the Great Skill Check Endurance. It consists of Fogwise, Hyperfocus, Stakeout, and Prove Thyself. The combination of Hyperfocus and Stakeout is a strong combination that is very often seen since Rebecca's release and has proven to be sometimes very game-breaking. Now we have the new perk Fogwise into the mix, and the synergy of those 2 perks is only supported more. Stakeout grants you 1 token up to 4 for every 15 seconds you spend inside this killer terror radius. Every time you then hit a good skill check, this skill check will be turned into a great skill check and further adds 1% progress on top. Hyperfocus grants you 30% skill check bonus progression for each token that is earned. Hyperfocus tokens are earned by hitting a great skill check. Can you now somewhat see how this could be abused? And further, hitting a great skill check now also triggers the new perk Fogwise. When you hit a great skill check while sitting on a gen, you get to see the aura of the killer for 6 entire seconds, which is just so extremely good. For the last perk slot, I've chosen Prove Thyself. However, I was a bit helpless when it comes to that. Thinking about the fact that this build works best while working on gens, you might want to bring a strong toolbox. In that case, Build to Last or Streetwise could be decent choices. Nevertheless, you could also run an exhaustion perk, as no other perk would add any synergy to this build anyways. Build number 3 is called Escaping by Any Means and consists of low profile, Soul Survivor, Wake Up, and Left Behind. One perk that I'm dying to talk about is this one. This perk is all about escaping by any means necessary. Low profile and unique ADA perk hides grunts of pain and scratch marks for 90 seconds after you're the only survivor left in a trial. Then Soul Survivor activates as well. Now it's up to you. Playing Left Behind or Clairvoyance supports you on the mission to find the hatch. Left Behind grants you a hatch aura reading for 32 meters, whilst Clairvoyance tracks auras of exit gates, gens, hooks, chests, and the hatch in a 64-meter range for 10 seconds. However, this perk has one major downside, and that is basically that you are forced to activate it by clearing a totem. If the hatch was closed by the killer, you now can go to an exit gate and start hiding. When the killer has left that area, you now try to open the exit gate as quick as you can. This is supported by Wake Up and Soul Survivor. Soul Survivor grants you a 50% speed boost in opening exit gates, while Wake Up adds another 25% on top, which reduces the opening time by 5 seconds from 20 to 15. If you know where the hatch is, you can also bring a key in order to open the hatch again. With that being said, have fun escaping. Oh my god, I really love this build. The second to last build of this episode is called Last Gen Go Brrr. It consists out of Potential Energy, Fast Track, Resilience, and Dead Hard. Potential Energy on paper seems like a perk that is absolutely useless. After working on gen for 8 whole seconds, you can now use Potential Energy. This will now store gen progress, meaning that with every 1.5% progress, you will gain 1 token which will reward 1% on a future gen. Missing a skill check loses tokens, getting hit loses all of them. Fast Track is also a perk that works in a similar way as Potential Energy. It grants immediate gen progress for every hooked survivor in the trial. Resilience and Dead Hard are a perfect combination. On top, you can stay injured and always will be rewarded 9% repairing speed or vault speed accordingly. Now, the question arises, What the hell should you do with this build? The answer to that is the last gen. This perk setup is a very reliable 3-gen breaker, so having potential energy, fast track and resilience in the pocket, whilst another guy runs Prove Thyself for example, this build can do a gen in the quickest manner possible. That art is just there to support you in chase. Yet again, you can almost use every exhaustion perk. However, I think that art fits the best because you most likely will stay injured when you play Resilience. And the 5th and final build is called One Hit for the Memories, and it consists out of Hubris, Brutal Strength, Spirit Fury and Enduring. And for our final build, I wanted to cover my favorite killer build which was added with the release of the perk Hubris. This perk inflicts the exposed status effect to the survivor that has stunned you by any means. So yeah, it also works when you flashlight saved or DS stun. But in this build, we want to fully focus on pellets. Spirit Fury calls upon the entity to immediately destroy a pellet after you've been stunned. This perk however requires you to destroy 2 pellets beforehand. Saying that, Enduring and Brutal Strength seem like an obvious choice here. Enduring reduces your stun duration by 50%, whilst Brutal Strength shortens the action speed of breaking walls, pellets and trends by 20. This guarantees you to shred through pellets faster, but further also gives you the ability to be super aggressive around pellets, and you don't need to respect them and simply can greed for them. Once Spirit Fury procs, Hubris procs and almost for sure will grant you an absolutely easy down. Most of the times you only have 1 up to 3 possibilities to do this, but trust me, getting that exposed hit after Spirit Fury is one of the most satisfying things in Dead by Daylight. When you are playing the Knight, you can swap out Brutal Strength for Zenshin Tactics. Zenshin is basically Windows for killers. This will even more help you in forcing the survivor to throw pellets left, right and center. Just make sure though to use your guards to destroy the pellets. And this concludes this video. What is your favorite perk build for the Forge in the Fog update? Let me know down below in the comments. And with that being said, love you guys.